In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Savage Opress. Obviously from the Clone Wars, this figure is one I have been anticipating for quite some time now, so I am really excited about it. The box is your standard Black Series box, nothing too fancy. But anyway, let's get into the figure. Here's the figure out of the packaging along with its accessories. It does come with two accessories, not much, but enough I guess. You do have the double-bladed lightsaber, which is nicely sculpted. There is no real paint for the silver, it is just molded gray plastic. You do have the black painted lines, and then the two lightsaber blades, which are a nice translucent plastic. And of course, the lightsaber hilts are removable from the hilt. As for putting the hilt into his hand, you do want to pry it with your finger this way and then push the hilt in between the thumb. It is quite tricky when you first do it, but once you get it there, it is not going anywhere. He can even dual wield like so, which is really nice. The lightsaber hilt does have a loop which you can just put onto the figure like this. Now since it is not pegged in, it is in there pretty secure, like if there's an earthquake, but if you were to like flip him upside down, obviously it would just fall out, but you can easily just put it back where it belongs. The next accessory you do have is his axe. It has nice silver paint at the tip and the rest of it is molded. It is a nice sculpt, especially at the blade. You have all these dots to make it look like it's actually been worn and weathered. I do wish there was some kind of wash on the handle, but it is still a nice sculpt and looks exactly as it did in the show. Now when it comes to him holding it, you do want to go from the base of it and then just push up. It is going to require a little bit of force, but you do want to push it all the way to right here. It is this thicker part. The rest of it he doesn't really hold, and if you do twist it, it will just come off. It is flat, so you do have to have it at the right angle for it to not fall out. Now here is a closer look at the figure. You do have nice paint. The head sculpt does have nice clean lines. As for the horns, they are a soft rubbery material. As for the upper body, you do have this nice, airbrush kind of effect throughout. It is this kind of greenish, grayish color sprinkled all through the front and the shoulder pads. A little bit of that paint does continue on the upper part of the arm. You do have the nice silver, and the gauntlet pieces are a nice silver metallic paint. The fingernails are quite long. It does get in the way when you're trying to put the lightsaber on his hand. The belt piece also has that nice silver metallic paint. You do have the sculpted fabric piece, which does lean to one side, has nice clean paint on it. The skirt piece is a soft material that does not get in the way, and you do have the seam line in the back. The pants are nicely sculpted with the wrinkles, the seam. It's just really actually good. The boots are also a nice sculpt, and you do have some of that silver paint right here on these shin pieces. The tip of the boot also has some of that paint, and the belt buckles are also painted. And the back of the figure is also nicely sculpted for the pants, the wrinkles, the skirt piece, the black paint on the belt. The back of the figure is also nicely sculpted with all these lines and wrinkles. The shoulder pads are squeezed in between the socket and the butterfly joint, so they do get out of the way of the articulation. Now I do think the shoulder pads are too low. I think they should be about here. However, I did get used to them being this low, but I do think they should have been higher. Now for the articulation, you do have a joint at the top and bottom of the neck, which can obviously rotate, and you do have a beautiful pivot left to right, and the head sculpt can move this much up as well as a decent amount forward. The shoulder pads do rotate, and the shoulders do move up slightly past 90 degrees, and the shoulders themselves can also be rotated. He does have a butterfly joint that moves this far back and this far forward. You do have a single jointed elbow that moves 45 degrees, and you can swivel it on said joint. You also have a forearm swivel, and the wrists are on dumbbell joints, which means they can be configured whichever way you like. You do have two joints, one at the torso and one at the waist, which can obviously rotate, and he has a beautiful pivot going this far left and this far right. He can also crunch forward this much and back a really good amount. The legs can move out pretty much all the way, which is really nice, and can kick forward 90 degrees and can kick slightly back. You do have a single jointed knee which moves a little more than 45, and you can rotate on said joint. You also have a boot swivel, and the ankles can move back all the way as well as a little bit forward, and you do have a beautiful ankle pivot. As for the size comparisons, here he is compared to a NECA God of War Kratos. Here he is compared to a Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Here he is compared to a SH Figure Arts Kaioken Goku. Here he is compared to the Diamond Select Toys Bruce Lee. Here he is compared to the Amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool. And finally, here he is compared to a McFarlane Toys Batman. So what are my final thoughts on this figure? It is a really nice piece. It is a figure I have been wanting for quite some time, and to finally have it is quite exciting. Now I do see the Black Series eventually doing some sort of re-release in terms of him with his robotic arm, probably in a 2-pack with Darth Maul, and I will probably end up buying that one as well. I just really like Savage Opress. Even though he doesn't really talk in the show, I do still kind of like him. Now what are my nitpicks with the figure? First of all, as every Black Series figure, no double joints. Now this one doesn't necessarily need them, especially at the knees. I wish he was double jointed. The ball joints at the wrist are quite nice, but they don't get as much movement as I want. But for a domestic figure, it is still good articulation. The paint at the torso does not go all the way to the back, which again sucks. Like, he was a deluxe price at about $35, so I kind of wish he had that paint back there. The shoulder pads to me are low. I wish they were just a little higher. Does kind of suck, but I have gotten used to them, so I guess that's a plus. Now for the skirt piece, I actually really do like it. I think it blends in nice with the kind of sculpted fabric piece he has. It's a nice color. Do wish it was slightly brighter. It's a little dull, but I prefer a fabric skirt, especially when it's done properly. This one is done beautifully. Another thing that I do not like is the fact that he has no thigh swivel. That is something that I hate that they're taking away, especially with these prices getting to pretty much $30. You know, they're almost there. I wouldn't be surprised within 1 or 2 years they are $30 per figure. This one in particular was $35 because it was a deluxe. Now on my copy, the knees, especially the right one, is quite loose. It's not too loose, like it's not gonna be floppy, but it's not as stiff as I kind of would want. Another thing I do not like is the fact that the hilt is just molded gray plastic. It's not painted silver. That is a big downside to me. Yeah, you have the little hits of black on it. Man, this would have been way cooler if it was painted and not just molded plastic. As for his axe, it is a beautiful axe. I will be having him dual wielding on my shelf. So what are my thoughts on this figure? It is a really good piece. This is pretty much everything that is good about Black Series, except the fact of the thigh swivel. That's really the only point of articulation that I hate that they're taking away. You know, the single joints, I could kind of live with them for certain figures. This one doesn't need them, but it would have been nice to have them. But overall, do I recommend this figure? 100% yes. I think this is a fantastic figure if you can get it for the $35. Last I checked on Big Bad Toy Store, he was $40, so I don't know what happened there. But to be honest, I would probably have bought him again. However, I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing another version with the robotic arm. You know, it's pretty much 90% reuse. You just need a different arm, but hopefully a different head sculpt. I do like this one. I do want one with grinning teeth, so that would be quite nice. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure. Have you got it? Have you not got it? Are you going to get it? Do you not care about this character or this figure? Let me know in the comments below. Now fuck off.